What if I told you that one of the most recognizable bourbon brands in Kentucky, the one with the red wax seal, just released its oldest bourbon ever matured in a hidden limestone cellar, and it's completely redefining what Maker's Mark means? The 2025 Cellar Aged release does exactly that. In today's video, we're digging into the story behind this release, the aging technique, the blend of 11, 13, and 14-year-old barrels, how Makers is pushing its wheated bourbon into new territory, and whether this bottle is worth the hype. And let's dive in. Before we dive deep, if you love bourbon deep dives, brand history, rare releases, and flavor breakdowns, hit that like button, subscribe to World of Whiskey, and tap the bell so you don't miss future videos. Now let's get into Maker's Mark Cellar Aged 2025. Maker's Mark has a distinctive place in bourbon history. Founded in 1953 by Bill Samuels, Sr. in Loretto, Kentucky, the brand broke from tradition by using soft red winter wheat instead of rye in its mash bill 70% corn, 16% wheat, 14% malted barley, giving it a smoother, sweeter flavor profile. For decades, Makers kept its aging timeline modest, typically around 6 years, because the brand prioritized its signature taste rather than chasing age. Then in the late 2010s, the distillery built a unique limestone cellar beneath Star Hill Farm with controlled cooler temperatures and stable conditions to allow older maturation without the bitterness that often crops up in long-aged bourbons. I know for a fact they are afraid to age their bourbon for too long due to this. But for someone who was lucky enough to have tried Makers only aged in their rickhouses for 12 years as an experiment, I thought it was amazing and should be a release on its own. In 2023, Makers launched the Cellar Aged line, an age-stated premium sub-brand that highlights their oldest whiskeys and the new aging technique. The 2025 edition is the third of the series, and it might be the most ambitious yet. So why does this matter? Because it shows Maker's Mark evolving, honoring the classic red wax tradition while experimenting with deeper age, richer flavor, and premium positioning. For fans of the brand and bourbon purists alike, Cellar Aged 2025 is a statement piece. Let's look at the specs. The 2025 Maker's Mark Cellar Aged is bottled at 112.9 proof, 56.45% alcohol by volume. The blend consists of 74% 11-year-old Maker's Mark bourbon, 10% 13-year-old, and 16% 14-year-old barrels. The aging process, the bourbon spends its initial years in the traditional Maker's rickhouse warehouses, then moves into the distillery's limestone cellar under consistent, cooler temperatures, which slows harsh oak extraction and allows oxidation to do its work. What's the retail price? In the United States, the suggested retail price is $175 for the 2025 edition. What this all tells us, this is Maker's Mark's most mature, most complex expression yet. The blend of older barrels and premium cellar aging means flavor intensity is turned up, but the brand's challenge was to keep that Maker's Mark smoothness intact without the harshness that older bourbons sometimes bring. There are several reasons this release is significant. Age milestone 11, 13, and 14-year-old barrels make this the oldest release in Maker's Mark's history. It signals a step into the premium age-stated tier for a brand known for its relatively shorter aging. Cellar aging technique. The use of the limestone cellar with consistent cooler temperatures is rare in American whiskey, and Makers is using that infrastructure to prove older age can work and maintain flavor. Brand elevation by positioning this at $175 and making it a limited global release. Maker's Mark is stepping into more collector, connoisseur territory, not just everyday bourbon. Global availability and travel retail. The 2025 release is available in the US, Germany, select global travel accounts, and later in England, Japan, South Korea, and Australia. It reflects Maker's global ambitions and the premium bourbon market growth. All of this means that Cellar Aged 2025 is more than just a new bottle. It's a declaration from Makers that they can age their whiskey longer, push flavor boundaries, and still stay true to their identity. Now let's talk practicalities. Who is this for, and is it worth the $1.75 price tag? Who should buy it? Fans of Maker's Mark who have enjoyed the previous releases and want a premium version of the brand and are comfortable paying for older age and limited supply. Bourbon fans who collect age-stated limited releases and are interested in high-age wheated bourbon from a different distillery besides Buffalo Trace. For someone who has tried it, I still don't think it's as good as the 2023, but I think it's better than last year's. For me, this year's release is very rich and baking spice forward, which is the type of flavor profile I like on a Maker's Mark or any wheated bourbon in general. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes, but with caveats. If you enjoy Maker's Mark's classic house style, this release elevates it beautifully. The age and cellar aging bring extra depth, more texture, bigger flavor, and the profile remains recognizably Maker's. That said, if you're mainly a value drinker looking for everyday bourbon under $60 to $70, this isn't your go-to. The premium price requires premium expectations. The rarity also means availability will be tight. If you can find it at or near retail, I believe it's a worthy buy for serious bourbon fans. But if you're paying double or more on the secondary market, you'll have to decide if that extra age and prestige is worth the premium to you personally. So, wrapping up, Maker's Mark Cellar Aged 2025 is a landmark release. It captures the heritage of Maker's Mark while exploring deeper age, richer flavor, and a premium audience. It delivers a complex, creamy, orchard fruit and fudge-laden bourbon that still feels smooth and accessible. What to keep an eye on: how well the next batches perform. Makers says they're blended to taste, not just time, meaning future releases could shift age profiles or flavor direction. Secondary market pricing. So far, we haven't seen a huge mark up above retail, but that could change over time. How this influences the brand going forward. Will we see more age-stated makers or premium lines built around the cellar aged technique? So if you're sitting on the fence, I'd say give it a try, even if it's a one glass pour in a bar first. That way you can decide if this version of Makers is the one for your shelf. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the Maker's Mark Cellar Aged 2025 release. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more bourbon stories, review breakdowns, and collector insights every week. Let me know in the comments, are you excited about Maker's Mark going age stated and premium? Will you be chasing this one? Until next time, pour something good and keep your glass half full.